Hi, everybody. I'm Gloria Moraga. This is the Political Woman podcast. So it's late. It's 2 in the morning, California time. I've been reading the budget, the continuing resolution, and doing some other things. But I wanted to just hop on, just touch bases with you on what's going on with the budget. So here's what happened. Over the weekend, negotiators for the House and the Senate, 2 Democrats, 2 Republicans, got together and worked out this deal to add funding into this continuing resolution, which will keep the government running till next year when the new president takes office and the new Congress takes office. This was the plan. Now, it's a stupid plan because we should have had a budget at the end of September, beginning of October, if we were doing things right. But for some reason, this Congress is just one of the worst Congresses, and I think it's poorly run. It's my just personal opinion. So we haven't had a budget. They've been doing these continuing resolutions just to temporarily fund programs. So I don't know what the big deal is. Anyway. And when this continuing resolution was released with the new figures, which provides disaster aid for hurricane victims and other victims of natural disasters, including a massive amount of money for farmers, because the farm bill is rolled into this continuing resolution, and farmers are hurting right now. Now, that's a whole nother story. But is there pork in there? Yes. Is there all the pork that Elon Musk is talking about? No. He misspoke. And I'm not on Twitter because of him. So I just canceled all my accounts, so I don't go on there, but I pick up what's happening there from media. So, because they're quoted. So the New York Times did a piece on all the mistakes Elon Musk made when he started tweeting and calling out things in the continuing resolution. And a lot of his 100 plus tweets were wrong. But Trump is the same way. Trump just says whatever, and it's not true. But it's okay because millions and millions of people read the billionaire, Musk, I hate to keep saying his name, read his tweets. So he's got that power. And Trump has that power. And it doesn't matter that they're lying. They're just doing this and stringing people along, and they're lying to people. So Musk starts tweeting, and then way later, the president jumps on and says, no, this is not going to go. This bill is not going to happen. Meantime, they've done all this work. They've done all this negotiations to get an agreement, because the deadline is, it's Thursday now, garbage day. And I haven't put my garbage out yet. And poof, it's gone.
House Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats reached a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, keep it open, and meet the needs of the American people. We reached a bipartisan agreement to provide disaster assistance to everyday Americans whose lives have been upended and turned upside down as a result of hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and other types of extreme weather events. We reached a bipartisan agreement to meet the needs of the American people and provide assistance to farmers, families, children, seniors, veterans, men and women in uniform, and working class Americans. House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement that they made. House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt everyday Americans all across this country. House Republicans will now own any harm that is visited upon the American people that results from a government shutdown or worse.
Now, Republicans who just fall in line behind whatever Donald Trump says, saying, no, we don't want this. It's full of pork. No, it's also full of much needed aid for people down south who got hit by the hurricane and for our farmers who are suffering, because we've got to get that farm bill passed. So now the latest, and this is what really frosts my cake. Trump wants them to cut out the pork in the budget and raise the debt ceiling. Because, he drove up massive amounts of debt when he gave the billionaires the tax cut. All the rest of us got screwed. I got screwed. But the billionaires got their tax cut. And we, the federal government, our deficit just ballooned because of that. And so he wants to raise the debt ceiling, and he wants the Congress to do it because he wants to blame Biden for the raising of the debt ceiling. Man. So that's really what this comes down to. It's really what's going on. And screw everybody that's going to be hurt by this. And I'm reading right now, I'm on the ABC website. Actually, I'm reading Channel 4. So ABC in Washington. All the things that happen when there's a shutdown. Because Musk mistakenly said, oh, nobody gets hurt, really. Well, maybe not in your world, white belly billionaire, but in the real world, people get hurt. And not only that, and he should know this, our credit rating takes a hit. The federal credit rating, and it's happened before with the last shutdown. So not good. Not good, no. And some federal workers would be cut back or laid off. TSA lines are going to grow longer because only essential people are going to be involved. The military, troops are going to be remain in place, but the support staff's gone. So say you're on the front line someplace in the military and you need some help, something's going on with your family and you need support, you're not going to have that. Why do we want to do this to our military? Why do we want to do this to our farmers? Why do we want to do it to federal workers right before Christmas? 4 days before Christmas. 5 days, something like that. Anyway, so I just I'm getting comments on my sites, on my posts, on YouTube and TikTok. The people just don't really understand. They listen to Elon Musk and they think that that's it. And that's not it. Okay, there's much more than what he's tweeting about. So I thought I would go through the New York Times article and quote and share some of the mistakes that he made. I was going to say how he misspoke. But so he started on this rampage, like Trump at, I don't know, whatever. And I hate to even talk about him. I don't like him. I don't, there are people who are billionaires who do good with their money. Like the wife of one of the Google guys or one of the, I don't know if it was Bezos or whatever, but she's, gotten the divorce and she's got all these billions and she's giving away money and helping. I mean, the things that they could do. Feed hungry children. We have hungry children in this country. Help educate children. Teach children about tech so that we can be prepared, so that we can compete with China. There's so much that Elon Musk could be doing. Instead, he's doing this, and it's just, it's wrong. It's just wrong. So I wrote down here, so these are quotes from the New York Times that did a fact check on just a few of Musk's, and I got 5 of them. So among the 100 plus tweets, I'm not going to say his name anymore, he sent as part of the campaign were a number of misleading, outright false claims. A possible preview of the mogul's new role as co-leader of a Trump-based, blessed effort to slash government funding. Yeah, I don't trust these people. 1. Musk didn't seem to think a government shutdown would have significant consequences for the country. He responded yes to a post that read, quote, just close down the government until January 20th. Defund everything. We'll be fine for 33 days. Yeah, because Russia and China and all of our enemies would really like that. They would like our troops to need something and not get it. I mean, what are you? Another Musk post said a shutdown doesn't actually shut down critical functions. Here's the fact check. Quote, but while essential functions would continue during a shutdown, there are significant real-world effects. Other government employees will halt their day-to-day work and miss paychecks. Social Security checks will go out, mail will be delivered, but agency shutdowns cause massive lost productivity and money. It costs us money when people aren't working. It costs billions. The last shutdown cost billions. Oh, here. A 5-week shutdown from 2018 to 2019 caused the economy to lose $3 billion, according to the Congressional Budget Office. They don't have a clue what they're talking about. 2, the billionaire falsely claimed that members of Congress would get a 40% pay raise as part of the package. That's not true. Something both Musk and the X-account for his so-called Department of Government Efficiency got wrong. Okay. This gets very confusing about Congress's raise, but Congress has not had a raise since 2009. Their salary is $147. Their salary is $174,000 a year. God knows this Congress under Mike Johnson has nowhere near earned that. They've hardly worked all year. They've been on more breaks than anything. But they have been freezing their cost of living increases. The current continuing resolution does not include a COLA freeze. So they would get their pay raise, but not anything near what Musk was talking about. It would not be a 40% pay raise. And someone was on one of the talk shows tonight, and they said that the reason that they did that was because they want their staff, their upper-level staff, to get their raise. And in order to get this, they took away their per diems, which means you have to pay for your rent back in your district, but you also have to pay rent in Washington, D.C. when you're on the job, and they gave that up to get this cost of living raise, to give it to their staff. And the maximum would be 3.8%. That's an increase of about $6,000. So they're not getting this massive pay raise that Elon Musk is talking about. He's just wrong. He's wrong. And that is according to congressional research and the Washington Post. All right, this one really got me. Musk reposted a claim that the bill would provide $3 billion for a new NFL stadium in Washington, D.C. Not true. A lie. That's a lie. What the bill does is it transfers control of the existing RFK Stadium to the D.C. local government for redevelopment. And they're going to try to get private sector to come in and help them potentially include a stadium. No federal funds were being used for this. No federal funds. Now, there is a possibility that D.C. taxpayers would eventually be on the hook for that stadium if that happens. But right now, the mayor is looking at ways to fund that from the private sector. So that's wrong. Okay, and this one is very complicated, but I have to say it. He's wrong that the bill shields the January 6th committee. Wrong. Now, Musk said it's outrageous that the bill would block House Republicans from investigating the January 6th committee. No, the section of the bill cited, and this is a quote, has nothing to do with internal House investigations. And Musk was quoting a January 6th rioter. It's just it's laughable, but it's not because it's so serious. All right, so here's the thing. Remember all of the files for the January 6th hearings, all of the videos and such, and all of the files of people breaking in and smashing windows. And, they are now on a server outside of the Capitol. They're on a server outside of, direct congressional control. That's all that part of the bill would do. Because here's what it says. They want to make sure that the House still has access to those files. And this is, quote, a House office shall be deemed to retain possession of any House data of the House office without regard to use of any particular platform, the bill reads. So they're just saying someone else is going to be housing the data. It's on a server someplace else, but that's still House property. Get it? I get it. I understand. It's like it's not in the cloud. It's in a server someplace. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could kind of say it's in the cloud, but that's all that portion does. Musk also gave oxygen to an untrue assertion that he reposted a screenshot from a conservative account, Libs of TikTok, claiming that the legislation would fund bioweapons labs. I almost have to take a minute for this one, but I've already read it before, so I've already been shocked. That is false. False, false, false. The provision in question, quote, would establish regional biocontainment laboratories as part of the larger pandemic preparedness plan. Their stated purpose is conducting biomedical research to support public health and medical preparedness, not creating bioweapons. And the provision is part of a long-sought reauthorization of the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness and Response Act. Because we have to be prepared for this stuff, because it's coming again. Right now, things are happening in California in regards to bird flu. And that's a whole nother story. And I'll have that in another video when I get a chance. So, this is happening now in December, right before Christmas. And Trump hasn't even taken office yet. Now, maybe Trump wants to get rid of Mike Johnson. Like, who cares? I mean, I think Mike Johnson he's a bad manager. And that has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. They're just House speakers who are great managers, and some are not. So, Republican and Democrat, there have been great Republican House speakers that were managers, and that's your job, is to manage. And he can't do it. He doesn't do it, and this is a perfect example. So now it's 2:40 on Thursday morning. So they're going to be back at it because we're on deadline now. Because Trump is chaos. And also, they misspeak. Now, do they misspeak because they don't know? Or do they misspeak purposely to get what they want? Maybe both. I don't know. But I know that what the white-bellied billionaire is doing is not good. First of all, nobody elected him. Nobody wants him, really, except for maybe some young punk boys that admire him. And that's your problem. But he wasn't elected. He's not a government official. Trump's appointed into this thing, but he's just going on Twitter and wreaking havoc. Or wrecking havoc, depending on how you like to say it. So nobody elected him, and nobody wants him, and he needs to bug off. And he's an immigrant. I mean, he wasn't born here, which may be why he doesn't understand how the Congress works. Because I don't think he's ever taken a civics lesson or a course in government. So that's the budget breakdown. And things are going to change again tomorrow, so I'll be back. I'll be back tomorrow. And we've just had a lot of news. The House Republicans are going after Liz Cheney, which I think is petty and crazy ridiculous. Now what? We're going to start doing this to people that Trump doesn't like? And yes, he's promised to do that. I posted a video with his promise earlier today. So please follow, please subscribe. I'm Gloria Moraga, Political Woman. I'll be here, and I will be back.